Joining us for a little bit is Cattle Commissioner Stephen Jackson. Hey, Mr. Stephen, welcome back to Keel. Thank you for taking time. How are you today?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Let's start with, excellent, thank you. Just got back from vacation. Have you ever had smelt, by the way? It's a small
No,
fish.
but I thought it was like that fighting the French.
Don't do it, Stephen.
Don't. I try to think of it as the crawfish of Michigan. It just didn't get me very far.
I understand.
Let's start with the Cattle Commission, the recent decision, the recent sort of line in the sand telling the Daughters of the Confederacy, UDC, you've got to move the statue, Confederate monument. Why now? What was the motivating factor? What was the decision that was made to sort of tell them you got to do it within the next 90 days?
Well, I think, Robert, this goes back to the ordinance that we passed in 2017. So the why now is clear. We passed the ordinance in 2017. The UDC exercised their right to utilize the legal system to challenge that. It has been upheld at every court so far. They chose not to appeal to the Supreme Court, which ultimately ended their efforts to try to stop it from moving. So there's no such thing as a why now. We have Act 2017 that the statute removed.
But you could have waited. Let me phrase it this way: has there been negotiations between the commission, perhaps your attorney?
Robert, in 2017. I mean to cut you off, but there's no could you have waited 2 years? We waited in limbo for 2 years for a legal decision. So we're going to wait another 2 years, and then after that, wait another 2 years. I mean, at some point, we've got to move forward and move beyond this conversation.
But was there any contact, any sort of negotiation between the commission and the UDC going on sort of behind the scenes? Maybe we can work out a deal, a time frame, et cetera, to move the monument. Was that going on? In other words, was this move born out of frustration by the commission that nothing was happening?
No, I think again, it's the commission executing on the ordinance that we passed in 2017. Of course, we could not have contact with them since we were in litigation with them. So it's not wise for us to be in contact with them. So if the UDC, they have 90 days to work out a plan. They want to negotiate a time frame or a timetable to move it. That 90-day period, which has started, would be the time to do that negotiation. But as far as doing it while we're in litigation with them, that would not be wise legally.
Stephen, I got this email from them, their attorney,
Sure.
Dave Nadler,
Okay.
that says, and I'm quoting, "My client is disappointed with the notice dated August 28th sent from the attorney for the Caddo Parish Commission, especially because my client has a quitclaim deed to the land under the Caddo Parish Confederate Monument. In addition, my client is disappointed that the Caddo Parish Commission has not waited for the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on whether or not to grant my client's petition for a writ." The quitclaim deed, has that not been litigated now fully?
Yeah, that has been litigated, and at no level have they won. They asked for a rehearing at the Ninth Circuit, U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, or I believe it's Fifth Circuit or Ninth Circuit, whichever one is in New Orleans. They've asked
Fifth,
for
yeah.
a rehearing, and they were denied that rehearing. They had an opportunity. The chances of getting a hearing before the Supreme Court, who knows, is unlikely. But, we're moving forward with what is legal and what is standard right now.
Stephen, and we're talking to Stephen Jackson, Caddo Parish Commissioner, what if 90 days goes by, they haven't moved it? What then?
We'll exercise our right to dispose of it under the statute.
Smash it, tear it down, sell it?
I don't want to speculate on what that is, but we won't disrespect the actual structure. I'm not asking anybody to disrespect. We have never asked anybody to disrespect or disdain the structure in a peaceful and respectful manner. We will remove it, cover it up, do what we need to do in accordance with the ordinance that the commission passed.
We had a lot of conversations with you going back over the last 2 years and with others about this. And much of the talk was about, how much it was going to cost to move it, with the theory that Caddo Parish would probably have to foot the bill to move it. This sounds like you're not willing to step up and foot the bill for moving it now any longer. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't say we're not willing to step up and foot the bill. I think some folks have asked us to slow down and see if private dollars would come in. At some point, we're going to have to, as what's that guy name? I just said, we're going to have to draw the line in the sand. I'm sorry, I drew a blank. We're going to have to draw the line in the sand and say either we're going to move it or private or some organization I just don't step up and move it. And what the cost is associated with that at this point, I don't want to speculate.
Mr. Stephen, has all of the contact, all of the communication between the commission and the Daughters of the Confederacy, has it all been between lawyers, or has there in fact, even maybe since you guys came up with the 90-day idea, with the 90-day mandate, have you heard from anybody with the UDC directly that said, let's sit down and let's work out the specifics of this deal? Or has all the communication, to repeat myself, has it all been by lawyers?
Well, given the legal nature that we have taken, I think it's best and it's wise for everybody to take to discuss it via lawyer to lawyer. That way, all the legal ramifications, because we don't want to try to get dammed up. And you got to remember that no one person or no 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 people speak for the commission. The body as a whole has to speak for itself. So if 3 or 4 people sat down with the UDC and tried to hash out a deal, that would not hold standing, because the commission speaks as a whole, and it takes 7 votes to speak on behalf of the commission or negotiate.
Mm-hmm. Do you get the sense that the UDC, at the end of the day, will exhaust every legal possibility to not move the statue?
Well, given our legal team, who has done a great job defending this at no extra cost to taxpayers, I think they've probably exhausted all those options. I don't know that they would send a letter out if those options had not been exhausted. And there's another one from the U.S. Supreme Court. But this has been litigated over and over and over and over again in several municipalities where there's a property dispute. We know it's clear, it's unequivocal that we own the property that it sits on, and all we're asking to do is to move.
Okay, Stephen, if you come park a car on my property and you leave it there, and then I give you legal notice, I give you everything that I need to do to tell you, Stephen, you got 90 days to move that car. And at the end of 90 days, you don't move it. My lawyer's going to tell me that car is mine. I now own your car. Could that be the case here?
I don't know. I don't know what the state law says about that. I don't know what the property law says about that. So, you
could be the proud owner of a Confederate monument, Stephen.
I don't necessarily know that, and I'm not willing to accept that. But if that's what the law says, that's what the law says. But I know what we're saying is we don't want it in front of the courthouse.
In wrapping up, are you optimistic that within 90 days there's going to be something figured out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think within 90 days we will know. After 90 days, we'll have some clear direction on where it's going, or at some point, after the 90 days. What we're not going to continue to do is drag this out. So we're happy with what has come out of the legal cases. We believe that the judicial system has a right to be fair and impartial, and we've gone through that process, and we've respected the UDC's right to go that route.